Well, today we're doing something a little bit different. I have this little area out in my yard and I just absolutely love it back here. It's nice and peaceful. You're close to the house, like it's within 100 yards kind of thing. And so I think what we're gonna do today is we're gonna clean this place up a little bit, and we're gonna turn this into our little camping spot. We're gonna have our fire pit here, maybe some camping over there, kind of a deal, and just have our own little oasis just in the yard. So yeah, I already brought the fire pit over, and now I'm gonna run back. I'm gonna grab the chainsaw and we'll clear out some of these overhanging branches and stuff so they don't catch on fire. And then also over here so they don't rub up on the tent or the cot or whatever it is that we set up there. And yeah, this will be just a beautiful place right in the yard that we can come and hang out, possibly do some videos, do some camping here, do some campfire cooking, and yeah, just hang out with the dogs and my cats. And yeah, plus it's a beautiful place, and you know, like I said, I'm 100 yards from the house. I could come here in my underwear if I wanted to. But yeah, I'm gonna go grab my saw and we'll start cleaning this place up. Well, there you go. Got those pretty all cleaned up. It'd be nice to get the one that's a little bit higher up, but can't quite reach that. But yeah, we'll gather up all these sticks and maybe we'll light up a little fire here and burn them all off. Alrighty, that's pretty sure that's the majority of them. I think I'm gonna quickly fire up the saw and cut this big one in a couple of manageable pieces that we can get into the fire pit, and then yeah, we'll get us the fire going and slowly burn all this stuff down. I'll probably run back to the house real quick and grab me a chair and maybe something to drink, and yeah, we'll get a fire going here real soon. we'll hang out by the fire for a bit, and then later on tonight, maybe we'll come back out and we'll get the tent set up. Well, I just got back from the house to grab my chair. It's not Canadian Tire Fire, it's co-op, but it'll do, I guess. But yeah, we'll just bust up some of this stuff. There's a bunch of these small branches. We'll see if we can rip these off. They'll go up pretty quick. And we'll get a fire going here just within a couple of minutes. You know, little spots like this, it's really nice to have, because like when I go out into the woods, you know, I kind of look for spots like this where it's just like your own little hidden away oasis almost. But the problem with going out in the woods is eventually it's not hidden no more. Somebody finds it. Well, not our spot, but the spot out on top of Dinosaur Lake there. Beautiful spot, but people keep going in there and leaving a bunch of garbage, hanging signs up on the trees, and they kind of wrecked the place, unfortunately. And I'd go in there and I'd clean it up, but the problem is, you go in there and clean it up, the people that went in there and made that mess, you know damn well they're going to be going back in there next weekend, and pretty well doing the same. Oh, we got a little doe deer right here. The dogs, they don't really bother the deer. They walk through the yard quite a bit, and pretty well I got the dogs all trained up that if something is a friend, you don't chase it. So it doesn't matter what it is. If I say, hey boys, that's a friend, they kind of mind their P's and Q's and they watch it walk on by. I'll even grab the camera before she gets out here and I'll show you. Come on, boys. I don't know if you can see her or not. Right there. Hey, sweetheart, going for a walk? It's one nice thing about living here. We get all sorts of wildlife walking through. Even the other day when I was leaving for work, there was a nice little cow whelp just on the main road there. Almost done. That's a little too big. This stuff too, it's not exactly dead and dry, you know, it's on living trees, so it might be a little hard to start, but whatever. If you hold enough flame to it, it'll go. And this stuff, put that to the side. Hey, his face, how you doing, girl? There. We'll see if that's enough. And while we wait for that, we'll get some more wood ready. Throw it on top here too. There, sounds like it's going. Now one thing I'm going to watch for, I'm not going to let it get too much bigger than that. I'm going to make sure there's no sparks and stuff going flying, catching these trees on fire. Bad enough if you create a forest fire, it's even worse if you create it at your house. So yeah, we'll just kind of monitor this, let it die down a little bit. Then we'll throw a little bit more wood on. You know the drill when it comes to making fire. One nice thing with this too is I'll be, in a way I'll be camping, but it's nice because I'll be able to camp with my cats. We got all sorts of cats running around here. I wasn't much of a cat person until I got one, and now I got multiple. I guess we can put that one on a little early. Oh, there we go. now pretty well what I'm gonna be doing here for the next, I bet you it's gonna be a couple of hours, is I'm gonna slowly burn up this whole brush pile. It's gonna take me into the night kind of a thing, so maybe what I'll do is I'll just kind of periodically check in with you guys. And I think I am gonna set up my tent here today. Just right here in this small little clearing in behind me. It looks like a beautiful little spot. I also brought my rake too, so I can rake up the ground here, get like every last little stick that's like this picked up and kind of make it look almost like a park or campground kind of thing. Make it so you have something proud in your yard, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm gonna keep feeding this fire and we'll chat to you guys in a little bit. Well, it's taking us a little bit of time, but finally got all of our branches all burnt up. And yeah, I think now what I'm gonna do, because we have all this kind of junk on the ground, you know, sticks and cones and leaves and stuff, I'm gonna grab my rake. And I think what I'm gonna do in behind me here is I'm gonna rake all this up, and then I'm gonna rake around here all up and throw that in the fire pit too, and kind of get that burnt away. And then that way it'll be a nice clean surface that everybody can walk on. The dogs can run around without getting, you know, whatever sticks and stuff all caught up in them. Plus, I want to set up the tent right in this area, because right here it's a perfect spot for a tent. This branch here it might touch, but whatever, that's no big deal. But with all of these pine cones and sticks and stuff, I mean, you won't really feel it in the tent, but it will be slightly more comfortable if we got rid of this stuff. And there's his face again. Hey baby, hey girl, you coming to join? Alrighty guys, I'm gonna grab my rake, and yeah, we're gonna start cleaning this all up. And I might even have to grab like my snow shovel, because there's just so much stuff here, and then that way I can just scoop it up and throw it in the fire. So as you can see, it doesn't take long and you get one heck of a pile. Watch it, buddy. So now that I got a very good pile here, maybe I won't need the shovel. I might be able to just grab it all just with my hands, back it over and toss it on. Just gotta do this little section here, and then we'll see if this stuff burns or not. Pretty sure the neighbors think I've already sent them a smoke signal a couple of times, so one more won't hurt. Alrighty, here goes nothing. I think that's plenty to put on there. If this thing goes, that flame's gonna be up here. Hopefully it just kind of sits there and smolders, but yeah, we'll watch it. Plus I got my rake and stuff like that. If anything kind of sparks up here, I can quickly put that out. Plus I'm close enough to the house. I can go grab the water dish or whatever from the dogs, and that's about 2 gallons I can dump on it. But yeah, we're gonna do this several times until all that's pretty well cleaned up, and then we'll work right around here and get this all done. And then also, once we're done burning this, I'll show you the difference when we go back over there after I raked it all. Yeah, it looks pretty nice already. Well, this part is taking surprisingly way longer than I thought. The fire is just rip-roaring here, but it seems like there's kind of like 2 or 3 layers. So I already scraped this down once, and I had a pile about that big, and now I've done it a second time, and it gets all this real fine stuff, all the little pine needles and nuts from the or not nuts, but the pine cones from the squirrels chewing on them. But now I got her pretty well down to dirt. Like, there's still quite a bit of stuff here, but that I'm not overly too worried about. But I think in the meantime, what I'm gonna do, while I wait for the fire to die down and while I burn the rest of that off, like that's just a giant heaping pile, I'm gonna do this, rake this stuff up in little sections. So I'll start here and I'll pull everything back, you know, a couple there, one over here, one in here, kind of a deal. And then that way, by the time that's done, I can start working on one of these other piles. And now it's 7 o'clock and the sun sets at 10, so we got about 3 hours before it gets dark. And depending on how this burning process goes, we might need every minute of daylight here today. But yeah, I'm gonna start scraping up right around the fire pit here, and yeah, I'll keep burning up that pile over there too. I figured I'd start on this side because the smoke and wind's kind of going this way. So once I get this kind of done and out of the way, I can get out of the smoke. And you can see just like a couple pulls of the rake, I already got a pretty good pile happening here. But it actually, this part doesn't take long, like the raking it. It's just the burning of it seems to take forever. But this is going to look really, really nice when it's done. And it's going to be a beautiful spot just to come out. It's going to be a beautiful spot to come out and just sit by the fire. Do a little bit of camping right here. Maybe record a couple podcasts. It's going to be a really nice spot. So even though it's a lot of work right now, it'll be worth it in the end. So you see I got that top layer done. And then underneath, that's where all that kind of real fine kind of pine needles and squirrel droppings are. But like I said, it doesn't take long to get this top layer scraped up. There's a culprit over there, or a culprit, little squirrel. That's all right. I don't mind them. I actually feed them peanuts. Alrighty, I think we'll go back to kind of this stump right here. We'll call that about good enough for this side. We'll keep burning some other stuff, and eventually we'll get this place nice and spick and span. So this is why it takes so long. Basically what I'm doing is you pretty well put the fire out, then it smolders and it goes again. So I'm doing, or I'm trying to do, kind of put it on the edge of that fire so it stays kind of lit on that end, and eventually it kind of burns over. But oh well, it is what it is. It gets smoky, a little stinky, but whatever. I also got my little poker here so I can kind of mess around with these ashes, get a little hot spot going there, something like that. And I'll let's pretty well wait 20 minutes or so for this to burn off, and then I put another arm load on there. And like, that was a good handful like this, and it barely took the top off of that pile over there. So I don't know, 3 hours. I bet you in about 3 hours we'll get that pile done, and we won't even touch these other ones, but who knows, we'll see. Until then, I'm gonna keep raking and keep burning, I guess. Well, you guys, I don't think we're gonna be able to get too much done tonight here. The wind's picking up like crazy. We got a bunch of real dark, nasty clouds coming in, and you can start to hear all the thunder and stuff. Then with that wind too, it's kind of blowing these sparks kind of that way. But yeah, we got a lot done today though. You can see we kind of scraped up all this stuff all around here. Up there's looking good. Right here, I still got a big pile. You know, we put a dent in it, but there's still probably about 2 hours worth of burning there. Another 2 hours there, 2 hours there. And then that's not even like the final scrape up kind of a thing. And then, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Like, that's going to be a nice little spot for a tent. I do have a hammock that was sent to me, and I haven't done a review on that yet. So maybe between one of these trees here, or maybe between these trees right here, I might be able to hang it up, so I'll have either my tent or my hammock. And yeah, we'll make this our little camping spot, and it's gonna be our little project. But for now, I think what I'm gonna be doing, I'm gonna let this fire die down. It's still going pretty good here yet. Underneath there is just like a foot of just red hot coals. So I'm gonna sit here and watch this, make sure it all goes out and stuff, especially with this wind blowing. Definitely don't want to cause a fire, especially at my own house. Yeah, like I said earlier, a forest fire is bad enough. A forest fire at your own house and you burn your own house down, that's just stupid. But anyways, guys, I think we're gonna cut her off here. I'm gonna watch this fire, make sure she goes down, wait for this rain to come in, and then I'm gonna go inside. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully this gets you guys outside. Maybe you have a little spot like this on your own property that you can go out and turn into your own little camping spot. Or if you're just a person that lives in town, you know, you got kids or whatever. What I used to do when I was a kid, I'd have a fire in the backyard, and then at night I'd sleep on the trampoline. Like, it was great. But yeah, anyways guys, get outside, have fun. See you on the next one.